February 22nd, 2022. Can you all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor Beagle,
Here.
Deputy Mayor Resnick,
Present.
Councilmember Behrman,
Present.
Councilmember Gatchell,
Here.
Councilmember Grunland Fox,
Here.
Councilmember Sharp,
Present.
Councilmember Smiley,
Here.
quorum present.
Thank you. Changes or additions to the agenda as presented tonight? Assistant City Manager Benson, do you have any?
Your Honor, I do not.
Any from the dais? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to approval of minutes. We've got two sets of minutes to approve tonight. The first one is from the regular City Council meeting of February 8th, 2022. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Any corrections, additions, questions? I got a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the regular City Council meeting of February 8th, 2022. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Second set of minutes is the goal-setting minutes of February 14th, 2022. Do I have a motion?
Support.
Support. Any questions, corrections? All right, seeing none, I got a motion and a second to approve the goal-setting minutes of February 14th, 2022. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carries. One item of correspondence tonight, and that is a letter of resignation from Jennifer Mulder from the Library Board. Just want to thank Jennifer for her time on the board and appreciate her services to the city. Next up is a call to the public. I'll read the rules to the call to the public. They are as follows. The public shall address the council during the call to the public, which shall be included on the agenda immediately after correspondence, and again immediately after new business. The first call to the public immediately after correspondence shall be limited to agenda items only. A person shall not address the council in excess of 5 minutes unless the time is extended by a majority vote of the council present. Persons wishing to address the council shall identify themselves and their place of residence and shall state their reason for addressing the council, and all comments by the public shall be made directly to the council. Do we have anybody for the first call to the public? Seeing none, I'll close that. We'll move on to city managers' reports, departmental reports for January 2022. Any questions? Councilmember Sharp?
Thank you, Mayor. I actually have two. One for, I'll go in order here, but for Director Sigma, regarding the Charms Road caught my eye about the Chevron. Thank you for clarifying that. But the other question I was going to ask about was the drainage issue along the bend there at Charms near Howell Lane. I assume the DPW will be cleaning that up in the spring, getting it back. I know it's hard to do with the ice and snow, but try to get it back to looking presentable.
Looking like a real ditch instead of
yes, thank
a
you.
bunch of ice and dirt. It was like 6 inches of ice that we had to dig out, and it was damming up the road so significantly. It went halfway into Charms Road, so we wanted to clean that up. And this spring we will get a regular ditching bucket to clean that out. But with the ice, you just can't. This time of year is just horrible.
Thank you. One more for you. I want to thank you for getting with Hubbleroth and Clark and having their monthly report updated. A little more timely. The dates seem to be consistent with the month and what's really happening in the next few months. So thank you.
Thank you.
And one more thing. No, I'm sorry, not for Tim, but for Assistant City Manager Benson. The Class C liquor licenses, is that a good one? I mean, that lets you have a bar and serve beverages and be part of the social district and.
Yep. Yes, those are the on-premise for consumption.
Okay, so that's the one we want. The two we're going to get per your report. Okay, very good. Thank you.
If there is room in a social district.
If there is what?
Well, if there's room in the social district, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, we may have to expand the social district for these if we. Yeah. Okay, got it. Depending where it is, whether it be in the social district.
Councilmember,
I'm done. Thank you.
Okay. Councilmember Grunland Fox.
My first question is regarding the planning and zoning activity report. Under B2, it says that the Wixom Assembly Park have 2 proposed amendments. I know it says they're minimal, but do you know what those are?
I don't know the specific details. They're related to, like, the width and length of the buildings are changed slightly. Not to any significant degree, but it could change, specific locations of parking spots. Just some minor, landscaping kind of related things. They will be seeking special land use approval for a degree of outdoor storage for like truck trailers and stuff. So I believe it's related to that too.
Okay. I was just surprised to see something come forward on that, so, but you're right, it is minimal. And then the other question is actually regarding your economic development report. Under, it's not numerically, it's, working with the DDA to coordinate discussions regarding the tot lot out here. How's that going with Parks and Rec and DDA meeting and working together?
So there hasn't been any new meetings lately on it. I will say this will be a relatively slow process, primarily because the city CDBG funds that are dedicated for this project aren't available until the 23-24 fiscal year. So actually, this came up at the DDA meeting this morning. It's still progressing. Actually, Deanna was just asking or communicating with some of her members, trying to coordinate that volunteer. So it's ongoing. It's well established that there will be a relationship in those discussions. They just haven't had any major progress lately.
Okay, because I know there was a lot of work done by the Parks and Rec Commission in combination with Deanna and her staff on that recreation site, the playground, I guess, if you will. So just want to make sure that doesn't all go to the wayside and they kind of start from scratch.
And that is the exact point is with the Parks and Recreation Master Plan that's currently in place, that is intended to guide some of these. So it's a learning exercise all across the board. But we feel pretty confident about, everybody being on the same page about that as we move forward with this pretty deliberately. Not quickly, deliberately.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Deputy Mayor Resnick.
Thank you. Another question for Mr. Sikma, DPW. I noticed on the DPW report, there were some excursions to Government Metallic Park and to the Gibson House to check the heat on the buildings. Do we do remote monitoring of any of our buildings that are not in use so much in the winter?
So we do have remote monitoring for Gilbert Willis, or not for Gilbert Willis, for the Gibson House. And we are concerned about the boiler there. Just we've had some issues in the past, and we wanted to we just double check it, if you will. And we've had some trouble also with the monitoring itself. So we're there consistently just to make sure that nothing further happens. As far as Garmentella and Willis, those two parks are not monitored, but we do check those, and then we also winterize when necessary. So we will, so we don't have problems in those areas.
And then, like in the community center, in areas that are not inhabited on Fridays, Saturday, and Sunday, do those get monitored, or?
So they are monitored through the system, just like this building is. But there too, the monitoring for those aren't as good as they used to be.
Not as good as my Nest at home.
Right, and they're not Nests. So yeah, we do check those on occasion as well.
Right. That may be something to think about come budget time, because they're relatively inexpensive changes, right? Other than getting the internet to those sites.
Right. Yeah, we're looking at some things with our telephone monitoring as well that may need to change, because most of those alarm systems are hardwired, and so they're connected with the smoke detectors and different things. So it's not as easy as a Nest, just because of the industrial aspects of it, but yeah, we are considering those.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions? All right. Excuse me. moving on to the consent agenda. All items under the consent agenda are considered routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which event the items will be removed from the consent agenda and added to the regular agenda at the end of unfinished or new business. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Support.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have no unfinished business tonight, so we'll move on to the one item of new business tonight, and that's a recommendation that City Council approves the formation of a Charter Amendment Subcommittee and appoint City Council members Keenan Gotcho, Tia Grillen-Fox, and Robert Smiley as members. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Thank you. Over the years, the city charters can become outdated, and it also, over the years, members of this council have been, this has been one of their goals to look over the charter and make necessary changes that seem to be needed. And we've formed this committee at the last goal session meeting, and we're going to start the committee, and we're going to have them look at our charter and update it as well as they can. Any questions? Deputy Mayor Resnick?
So if, I know that we've got our council people that would be assigned to it now. In terms of citizens at large or business owners within the city as well, have there been any interest? It's like, well, this is the first time the minutes would actually be published, but are you expecting good interest from the community?
I don't know that that was the intention, to make this a broader committee. I think the intention, as opposed to doing a full-blown charter revision committee, this would be more of an ad hoc committee with council members and staff. And we could certainly, the findings from a committee could be put out to the public. We could proactively seek to get members on there. That would be up to your discretion as city council.
So the first one is more of a study session to see what areas would be.
Yeah, probably a series of meetings to discuss that, and then you come up with a list of findings and develop next steps from there.
Good.
Anybody else? Councilmember Gotcho?
It was my understanding as well that this committee would just be putting forth, I guess, things to consider, changes to consider on council. If we all agree, then it'll be placed on the ballot essentially for residents to vote on. Thank you.
Anybody else? All right, I got a motion and a second to approve the recommendation that City Council approves the formation of a Charter Amendment Subcommittee and appoint council members Keenan Gotcho, Tia Grillen-Fox, and Robert Smiley as members. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you guys. Thank you guys for stepping up and being on this committee. Moving on to the second call to the public. I will not read the rules to the call to the public again, only this time. The call to the public is open to whatever's on your mind, so if anybody's out there that wants to come up and talk, please come up. Please state your name and your address too, please.
Good evening, I'm Melanie Robinson, 2043 Lamella. I'm the president of the St. Vincent de Paul in this area. And we cover Wixom Lake, part of Congress. And I just want to bring to your attention that we are seeing a large, much larger than normal number of homeless people coming to us and asking for help. And, well, like, our fiscal year goes from October 1st to the end of September. Last fiscal year, we had a total of 14. Already this year, we've had 7, and it's only the first quarter. So I just wanted to bring this to your attention. We generally put them up in local hotels, the Fairlane on Grand River and Novi, the Knights Inn in Farmington Hills, and the Motel 6 because they're less expensive. But the conferences in those areas, Our Lady of Sorrows and St. Gerald's, they have spent the lion's share of their budgets the past couple of years on motel rents, and we're starting to, not the lion's share, but rents are going up, and we feel like we're going to be seeing more and more. And We have put people at the Comfort Inn next to Meyer there, and the My Place. And they're a little more expensive, but, you know, we got to do what we have to do. So, of course, we really sell the shelters in Pontiac. I mean, we sell them, you know, they are what you need. They have resources. They have social workers. They have nurses that come in, you know, but the majority of the people we see don't want to go to a shelter for whatever reasons. So I just wanted to make you aware that it's getting to be more and more of an issue. I'm sure the police see it, but I don't know how much they talk to you guys. So thank you, and I appreciate the time.
Thank you. Anybody else for the second call to the public? Seeing no one, I'll close the second call to the public and move on the city manager's comments tonight. Assistant City Manager Benson.
In honor of our city manager who is on a well-deserved vacation, my only comment is congratulations to the 8 employees who will be celebrating work anniversaries with the city this coming month. There's a lot of years of service on here, including Mr. Westervelt with 31 years on March 1st, all the way down to a couple one-year anniversaries. So congratulations to them, and that is my only comment.
Very good. Council comments. Council Member Smiley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, but I have no comments tonight.
There you go. Council Member Berman.
Thank you. No additional comments this evening as well.
Council Member Gadjo.
Thank you. I also wanted to thank Jennifer Mulder for her volunteering on the library board and playing an important role over there as they've changed kind of leadership over time and worked to modernize and everything. So it's been important positions over there that kind of go overlooked, I think, from time to time. So thank you to Jennifer for her volunteerism. Thank you.
Councilmember Grenlin Fox.
I too would like to thank Ms. Mulder for her service on the library board, as well as thank all of those employees celebrating work anniversaries. Thank you.
Councilmember Sharp.
Thank you, Mayor. Oh, where do I start? No additional comments. Thank you.
Deputy Mayor Resnick.
Again, just a thank you to Ms. Mulder for her service. That's no further comment.
Boy, the pressure's on. I just want to congratulate all the city employees celebrating a work anniversary. I've said it before and I said it again, I think we have the best staff, and when you see guys with 31 years, then they must like their job and must like doing what they're doing and helping the city out. And with that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.